Today, we're going to talk about a classic story that is an absolute gut punch. It's called The Homecoming by Rabindranath Tagore. And really, it's all about that deep human need to belong. What happens when that's denied? And this one young boy's desperate desire to just find his way home. Talk about starting with a bang, right? Tagore just throws this line out there right at the beginning. He's not easing us in. He's basically saying, look, the whole problem here is that being a 14-year-old boy is awkward and messy and nobody knows what to do with you. And that one sentence, it really sets the stage for everything that's about to happen.
All right, so who is this so-called nuisance? Let's meet him. His name is Phatik Chakravorty, and in his little village, he's the king, the ringleader of all the boys, always dreaming up some wild, mischievous plan. He's got all this energy, but, that always seems to get him in trouble.
So the story really gets going with one of these schemes. Phatik has a great idea. Let's roll this giant log out of the way, just for kicks. But his little brother, Makan, decides to spoil the fun and plops himself right down on it, refusing to budge. So Phatik, to save face in front of his friends, just tells them, fine, roll the log anyway. And that's the moment, right there, where it all starts to go wrong. Makan gets rolled off, he's humiliated, and he runs home to their mom with a total lie. A lie that's going to change everything.
And this is what's so frustrating. His mother doesn't even ask what happened. She just starts yelling at him for hitting his brother, which he hadn't done. Can you imagine how infuriating that is? He's been pushed, and finally, after being blamed for something he didn't do, his patience just snaps. And he does the very thing he was accused of. He just unloads on his brother for lying.
So right in the middle of all this family chaos, this glimmer of hope appears, something that looks like it could be the perfect answer to everyone's problems, a way to hit the reset button for Phatik.
Suddenly, this stranger shows up, an older man with gray hair. Turns out it's his Uppal, Bishamber, his mom's brother who's been away for years. He's just come back to town to see his sister. And his timing? Well, it couldn't seem more perfect.
So the uncle, he asks his sister about the boys, and her answer just lays it all bare. Look at this comparison here. To her, Phatik is just a perpetual nuisance, lazy, wild. But Makan, he's as good as gold. This is everything you need to know about Phatik's life at home. He's already lost the battle before it's even started.
So when his uncle offers to take Phatik with him to Calcutta, to live with him and go to school, Phatik is just over the moon. His joy is off the charts. And you have to understand, for him, this isn't just a trip. This is his golden ticket. It's an escape. It's a chance to go somewhere, anywhere, where he's not seen as a problem.
And this is what really gets me. In this wave of pure excitement, he does something amazing. He takes all his most prized possessions, his fishing rod, his kite, his marbles, and he gives them all to Mahan, the very brother who makes his life so miserable. It's like he's shedding his old skin, just giving away his past, because he is so sure his future is about to be incredible.
Okay, so the dream is alive, but not for long. That fantasy of a new life in Calcutta, it hits a brick wall, and it hits it fast. The hope that got him there starts to just disintegrate almost from the moment he walks in the door.
Let's be real clear here. His aunt is not thrilled, to put it mildly. She's already got her own 3 boys to deal with, and she sees Phatik as just an unnecessary addition, a problem her husband brought home without asking. He's jumped out of the frying pan and right into the fire.
And just look at the change in his world. Back in the village, he was the leader. He had open fields, the river, he had freedom. But in Calcutta, he's trapped inside this house, surrounded by walls. He feels totally hemmed in, oppressed. He's gone from being a king to being a nobody again, a nuisance.
And the misery is everywhere. It's not just at home. School is a total nightmare. He's the dumbest kid in class, earning him beatings from the teacher every single day. And at home, his own cousins make fun of him. There's literally nowhere for him to go. No escape, no place he feels like he belongs.
Okay, let's just hit pause on the story itself for a second, because this is where Tagore does something really incredible. He kind of zooms out from the plot and gives us this deep dive into what's really going on inside the head of a 14-year-old boy.
And this is the absolute heart of the story. Despite all the acting out, despite being a nuisance,
This is the age when a boy is secretly, desperately craving recognition. He needs love more than anything. It's this deep, unspoken need to just be seen.
And get this, he's so starving for it, he'd become the devoted slave of anyone who just shown him a little bit of kindness. That's how desperate he is. But here's the kicker, nobody does. It's like the adults around him think showing affection to a boy his age is spoiling him or something. And this line, wow, it just lands like a punch to the gut. With all the scolding and no affection, he's basically like a stray dog that's lost its owner. Just think about that image. He's completely lost, wandering around, totally alone, just looking for someone, anyone, to take him in.
All right, so back to the story. And this is where things take their final, tragic turn. As Fadek sinks deeper and deeper into misery, his entire existence, all his hope, shrinks down to this one single point, the holidays. Because that's his only chance to finally go home.
And man, things just start to fall apart with terrifying speed. First, he loses a school book. Bam! Daily canings from the teacher. Then he gets a splitting headache, can't study. He goes to his aunt for help? Nope. She just calls him a nuisance. You can just feel him getting crushed by it all. So finally, sick with a fever, convinced he's nothing but a burden, he makes a last desperate move. He runs away into a storm, trying to walk all the way home.
Of course, they find him. His uncle had the police searching for him, but look at the state he's in when they bring him back. Soaking wet, covered in mud, shaking from a raging fever. His desperate journey home ended right back in the house that feels like a prison.
The uncle sends for Paddock's mother. She finally comes. She bursts into the room, throws herself on his bed, and she's crying out, "Fadek, my darling," all the words he's been longing to hear his entire life. And the tragedy, the absolute gut-wrenching irony of it all, is that it's too late. He's too sick, too delirious to even really take it in.
And even then, in his fever dream, his mind is stuck on one thing. He keeps asking his uncle over and over, "Have the holidays come yet? May I go home?" It's just heartbreaking. Even at death's door, that's his only thought. The only thing he wants in the world. And then, in one of the most poignant last lines ever written, he whispers to his mother, who he can't even really see anymore. In death, he finally gets the holiday he wanted. His homecoming is complete. Tagore's story just leaves you with this haunting feeling and this question. How often do we fail to see that profound need for love and belonging in someone right in front of us until it's far, far too late?